Hello, Joe here from INFINITI of Tacoma. Today I'm going to do a comparison on the QX30 all-wheel drive versus the QX30 Sport. Two very different flavors of this cool product. The QX30 is an interesting product. It was offered by INFINITI from 2017 to 2019. Unfortunately, it was discontinued. It was co-developed with Mercedes. It uses a lot of Mercedes technology on it. It's largely based on the Mercedes-Benz GLA and CLA platform. And it costs a lot of money to develop a vehicle from the ground up. So a lot of manufacturers, they'll borrow technology and platforms from other manufacturers to save on costs. And Mercedes has a great reputation for making amazing luxury vehicles, big and small. So they already had an amazing small car platform. So rather than INFINITI paying all that money to develop it themselves, or taking a Nissan, which is our parent company, and rebadging it as an INFINITI, which probably would not be up to the level of refinement for an INFINITI product. If you took a Nissan Sentra and just rebadged it and threw leather and stuff like that to make it look like an INFINITI. So they based it on a Mercedes. It was a great platform, but unfortunately they had a falling out, and in 2019 is the last year. But incidentally, it's a very popular used vehicle for us. There's a lot of 2017s coming off 3-year leases. It's one of the more affordable off-lease INFINITI product. You can get a nice QX30 in the mid to low $20,000 price range. New, they were sometimes over $40,000. This one is a QX30 Premium with a navigation package. So this had an original MSRP of $41,190. This is blade silver on graphite leather. So we're going to compare this one to this QX30 Sport, which we have over here. And luckily I have one of each. I've been wanting to do one of these videos for a while, but I've never had both all-wheel drive QX30 and a QX30 Sport. The QX30 Sports are pretty rare. I don't come across them that often, but luckily I have this nice example to compare it to this all-wheel drive one. So I guess the biggest difference you can see right off the bat is that the front end styling is a little bit different. The QX30 all-wheel drive is going to have a little bit more of a crossover SUV design influence. You can see it has a little bit more of a protruding chin, where we have this QX30 Sport, which has a more car-like front fascia, and on the Sport model it has a little bit more of a sporty front fascia versus just a regular run-of-the-mill front-wheel drive QX30. I wish I just had a regular front-wheel drive QX30 to also throw in this comparison, but those are pretty hard to find. And for the most part, people like all-wheel drive in our market. I do make some exceptions because the sports are rare, and people do like the sport versions of the QX30. You'll also notice that the Sport QX30 has a little bit lower ride height. Obviously the ground's not perfectly level here, but the QX30 all-wheel drive is about an inch higher off the ground than the front-wheel drive model or the Sport model. You can also see a little bit different. You have matte colored body side moldings on the all-wheel drive, and if you encounter tree branches or brush, this won't get scraped up as much. Or in the QX30 Sport, in the front-wheel drive, it's a painted one. This has a little bit of a contrasting painted part on the Sport model, but the regular front-wheel drive, the fenders are just, these portions are going to match the body color. Next off is the wheels. And while we're looking at the wheels, the brakes are also a little bit different in the Sport. So the QX30 all-wheel drive has a unique wheel and tire package, and also the tires you're going to get on the all-wheel drive model are going to do a little bit better in a wider variety of driving conditions, like snow, maybe gravel and dirt roads. Obviously, you're not going to go super duper off-roading in something like this, but it's a little bit more of a all-season, wider variety of terrain type tire. Where we go towards the QX30 Sport, you have this really nice unique wheel and tire package. You have more aggressive sport compound tires. You can also see that the brake rotors are cross drilled. Then you have the INFINITI insignia on the brake calipers. Also, things you can't see, it's going to have a little bit more of a sport suspension versus the all-wheel drive model. You can also see here We have these nice little side sills here. It's a little bit more of a sporty effect, kind of giving it a little bit more of a lower stance to the ground. Where on the all-wheel drive model, it's not quite as dramatic looking, and it's a matte color versus a painted color, like here on the Sport. Then the rear end styling, you can see that the rear bumper is also a little bit of a different design. On the Sport model, they kind of have these fake vents back here, just giving it kind of a little bit more of a sporty look. And you can also see this QX30 all-wheel drive has an aluminum bumper cover here. That's just so the bumper won't get, you know, scraped up when you slide stuff in and out of the cargo area, which kind of is something that you see more on a crossover SUV, where the Sport has a little bit more of a cleaner look on the rear bumper, which kind of gives it a little bit more of a sporty look. As far as the engines and transmission goes, it's the same engine. There's only one engine available on the QX30. It's a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Direct injection, makes about 208 horsepower and 250 pound-feet of torque. The next difference is the seats. This has a nice Napa leather interior, and you can see that just has a regular old-fashioned luxury car seat. Where we can see on the QX30 Sport, this one has a little bit more of a sport design seat. It has integrated headrests, where it has a separate adjustable headrest on the all-wheel drive model. You can see it has these nice two-tone accents in the seats. This one has the upgraded leather seating package. The standard seat trim on the Sport would be Alcantara synthetic suede in the middle and leather accents on the outside. And lastly, we have the steering wheel. So the QX30 has kind of more of a flat bottom Sport steering wheel with this nice contrast stitching, and we can also see this one has aluminum pedals. Then we go to the all-wheel drive QX30, and it still has the contrasting leather. For the most part, the steering wheel is the same, but it's not a flat bottom like on the Sport. And there you have it. Those are the biggest differences between a QX30 Sport and a QX30 all-wheel drive. And obviously, you can tell by the name, another big difference is this is all-wheel drive, and on the Sport model, you can only get it in front-wheel drive. Please, if you have any other additional questions about the QX30, please let us know in the comment sections. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.